Well, hello, folks out there in YouTube land. Got a very interesting show set up for you. Yep, the real reason Carson Beck left Georgia and went to Miami appears it wasn't the girl. We're going to talk about that. There are some very strong indications that he left for other reasons, and it wasn't just money. Now, I'm sure money played a big part. It usually does.
Comes in pretty handy down here, bub.
Oh, tut.
But there were some other reasons. We're also going to go over the March Madness a little bit here at the end of this video, but I don't want to bury the lead. Let's get into Georgia. This is a story that came out. It doesn't surprise me any. I've been wondering if the offensive coordinator didn't play a role in this with Mike Bobo. And in this article, it talks about people discussing that Mike Bobo was blamed for Carson Beck transferring to Miami. It talks about nobody other than Beck and his folks in his corner will ever know the real reason. I thought at the time it was the money and the girl. Kind of made sense. He probably felt a little unloved at Georgia. Maybe, and there's some indication that there was a little bit of this between Carson Beck and the Georgia Bulldogs coaching staff, I guess you'd say. But again, that's speculation. But Brad Crawford of 247, he weighed in on it, and he's got a theory that I think holds some water. I'll let you hear it for yourself here again. This is on 247.
Give you a long shot, Smoke, for the #1 pick in next year's draft. None of those quarterbacks you mentioned. Carson Beck.
Ooh.
I think we see a rejuvenated Carson Beck at Miami. Now his arm has to be okay. We don't know. He hasn't thrown yet this spring.
Huge.
That's a big one.
That's a big one. The elbow and right arm. You got to be able to throw to play quarterback, unless you're Lenore
I think
Sellers.
he's better. He's better than what he showed last year at Georgia. A lot of that was Mike Bobo and that pro-style offense that every quarterback hates to play in, all right?
Pro-style offense.
There's a reason Carson Beck left. You're right. There's a reason he left, though, and I think Miami, we saw what Shannon Dawson was able to do last year, Cam Ward. I think Carson Beck's going to have a bounce-back year. I'm not predicting he's #1 pick in 2026, but I do think he has first-round potential.
So there you go. Yeah, Mike Bobo, look, this is not a rip on Mike Bobo video. He is a solid offensive coordinator. The big problem is this. He replaced Todd Monken, and Monken is the best offensive coordinator Georgia's ever had or will probably ever have. They won 2 national titles with him, and here was the thing. When you got Kirby Smart handling your defense, you couldn't be in better hands. When you've got Todd Monken handling your offense, again, that combination is unbelievable. They literally took a walk-on quarterback, and they won 2 natties with him, which Stetson Bennett, and a lot of people were down on him, and I was like, all the guy does is win. I couldn't understand why they were down on him. It kind of reminds me of the Ryan Day thing. Everybody's like, fire Ryan Day, and I'm like, he wins at 89%, recruits like crazy, and never has any problems as far as getting in trouble. Oh, no, fire Ryan Day. Same thing with Stetson Bennett. Bench him. I'm like, he wins every game. The heck's wrong with you? Well, he doesn't win them the right way. He's not flashy enough. Like, oh, so spoiled. But I think Mike Bobo played a role in that. And here's the thing that makes no sense. Todd Monken left over money. All right, he was making probably about $2 million a year at Georgia, maybe a little less. And he went to the Ravens and made $3 million. Kirby Smart's making $13 million. Kirby couldn't have lived with 12 and throw another $1 million to Todd Monken, who helped him win 2 natties. I would have never, Todd Monken wouldn't have been allowed to leave. The second he would have tried to get on I-40, I'd have had a blockade. Said, where do you think you're going?
Did you see that? They went right through a roadblock.
You some bitches couldn't close an umbrella.
Oh, well, I was going to go up and talk to Baltimore. No, you're not. Here's your money. Shut up. Now let's get over here and win our 3rd national title in a row. Nope, he couldn't do it because I know how Kirby thinks. He's one of those defensive-minded guys. He's like, hey, you know, our team's winning because of my defense. I'll be fine with some other offensive coordinator. That's that. He needs to talk to Dr. Rick because he's becoming his parents. Defense wins championships. Yeah, they play a big role, but you need to score points too. And you had the perfect guy, and you let him walk over $1.5 million, which is nothing to Georgia when you're making $13 million a year. So they've got Mike Bobo. They've extended him. Look, it's not some huge extension, and there's no true love for Mike Bobo in Georgetown. I think they just tolerate the situation.
All right,
Well,
Clint. Georgia offensively last year, we mentioned not up to standard.
No.
And here's the thing. We did make the college football playoff. We did win the SEC. We made the college football playoff as a high seed. Got the bye. Didn't matter. Didn't do anything for us.
Nope.
I want to list off some. When you think about Georgia,
Okay.
offensively, give me a number nationally that's like the floor for you, right? We would love it if Georgia had the number one offense in college football. But Georgia's not just an offense. They're an offense and a defense. And so we could settle for Georgia being the what? Give me a number.
This is going to piss every Georgia fan off. But how I'm making my rankings on this is my only care. I don't know if this is going to. My only concern is winning national championships.
Okay.
That's it. Okay.
I had to let you hear that part. He's going to finish up and talk some more about what they want in offense and defense. But if you want to know what a spoiled fan sounds like and one that has had too much success, that's it right there. When the only concern you have is winning a natty, you win the SEC, you make the playoffs, you get a bye, didn't do anything for us. These two guys are the poster children for spoiled, rotten fans. And that's, like I said, it's what happens when you throw a couple of natties up on the board. You kind of get that way. I think Alabama has dealt with that a lot. I believe that's called...
It's like taking poison, like rat poison.
Yeah, Saban knows.
It's top 25.
Top 25.
Okay. If we're a top 25
top 25 offense. Just by the way, on defense, what's your number?
Oh, we got
the floor.
The floor, and this is why I think I had so much consternation last year, if I'm being honest with you. The floor is top 5 defense
top 5
for me.
Top 25 on.
Yeah, there you go. Top 25 on offense, top 5 on defense. It's usually top 3. That's the mindset. We're a defensive-minded team. We're a defense first, offense second, and that's how you let somebody walk over $1 million, $1.5 million bucks because offense is not that important. Kirby's even got the fans believing it, or the YouTubers.
Yeah, this is our identity. This is who Georgia is. You can disagree. You might want Georgia to turn, into like more of a high, like a, an Oregon type, Ohio State type team who have good defenses, but they're built around their offenses for sure. Yeah. You can win championships that way. We have seen it.
Yeah. So there you go. I think that sums it up pretty perfectly, that it's all about the defense and the offense. As long as we're top 25, we're fine. And that's not really the case. It's a very fine line to winning a national championship. You've got to be great on both sides of the ball. Ohio State was terrific on offense and defense last year. Georgia was not elite on the offensive side. They were good, but they weren't great. And Carson Beck, I think, is a much better quarterback than he got credit for. They really ripped on him over some interceptions. I think he tried to put the entire team on his shoulders as far as the offense because they couldn't run the ball, and he pressed too much and threw some interceptions for the first time in his college career. And a lot of people got down on him because of that. And he probably felt that and went, dang, what do you got to do? You make a few mistakes and you're in the doghouse, so to speak, pun intended. So I definitely think Bobo showing up and Todd Monken being allowed to leave played a big role in this. And Carson Beck going to Miami was probably a good move for him. The pressure will be a lot less because he'll be playing against easier competition because the ACC versus the SEC, obviously, is not going to be the same. And he'll be more appreciated at Miami. And they're going to have a more open offense and be less of the conservative Mike Bobo type style. Now, let's take a minute here to look at March Madness because I've got a team that's playing tonight, and you may have a team as well. We know Auburn's playing Creighton, and then Michigan's playing Texas A&M. Ole Miss is playing Iowa State. Let's see, New Mexico, Michigan State. And it looks like the SEC lost 6 games. They're down to 8 teams. Florida is the hottest team out there. They're going to be, UConn's going to have their hands full right there. Then Colorado State, Maryland, Drake, Texas Tech. Here's Arkansas. Calipari's hanging in there. He's got to play St. John's, though. And that's the hard part of getting a really high seed like 10. You've got to go through a gauntlet to go anywhere. All right, across here, we've got Tennessee playing UCLA. That's a 9:40 game, which really means 10 o'clock. Kentucky will be playing Illinois. We'll be facing either one of these two teams if we can get past UCLA. UCLA's pretty darn good. They looked real good against Utah State. They beat the dog crap out of them. Let's see. McNeese State is currently playing Purdue. Got Gonzaga playing Houston. Alabama playing St. Mary's. Wisconsin's playing BYU today or tomorrow. Oregon, Arizona, Duke, and Baylor. Duke being a number 1. I look forward to that game tonight. I wish it wasn't so late. It won't get over till midnight. But so be it. That's just part of being in the March Madness. You never know. You may be playing at 11 o'clock Eastern time, and you may be playing 10 o'clock at night. You got to get all those games in. I mean, it's 32 games, then it's 16 games. All got to be done in a weekend. But it's basketball, so it's not as hard as football as, guys being able to turn it around pretty quick. Anyway, if you like this content, be sure to hit that like button. Let's continue to cover all these big college sports stories. If you've not subscribed, boom, 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 hit this little button right here. Won't cost you a dime. Help you get my videos. And right over here is the most recent video. YouTube, thanks, you'll enjoy. We'll see you next time on Sports Talk J.
In case I don't see ya, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.